Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached double digits. Week number 10 of the NFL coming up this week. I am bringing you guys my full score predictions for every game in this upcoming week. This past week, the upsets. It was crazy the amount of upsets we had and just the overall magnitude, the Jaguars beating the Bills, things like that. But this coming week, starting with Thursday night, kind of an interesting game. It is Baltimore traveling to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Thursday night, fun little matchup. Baltimore coming off their overtime win over Minnesota. I have this game very close, but Baltimore getting the win. The Thursday night games, it's really tough to predict what exactly is going to happen. I think it'll be close throughout. Miami got their second win last week versus Houston, and Miami does not own their first-round pick, so there really is no incentive for them to lose. It's going to be a close game, Thursday night game, but I do have Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens pulling it out late, kind of a higher scoring game. Moving on to the 1 o'clock Sunday slate, we've got the Cleveland Browns coming off their great win after getting rid of OBJ, taking on the New England Patriots, who are streaking right now. Bill Belichick has that defense playing lights out. Mac Jones managing the game well enough to get wins. Both of these teams are 5-4, so this could have huge playoff implications as it pertains to the wild card. And I have the Cleveland Browns in a close one. What a statement win that was for the Browns last weekend in Cincinnati. The whole Odell thing is pretty crazy when you think about it, but Baker Mayfield, he does play better without Odell Beckham. It's proven at this point. It's pretty crazy. And you've got this Bill Belichick defense playing well. Should be a close, lower scoring game, but give me the Browns. I think they do enough. They got Nick Chubb. Apparently, Kareem Hunt is still going to be out, by the way. I know he's eligible to come off the IR this upcoming week, but apparently he's still multiple weeks away. It's just going to be Nick Chubb in the backfield along with D'Ernest Johnson. But the Browns, Donovan Peoples-Jones stepping up into that number one receiver role, really playing well. David Njoku, underrated. Myles Garrett always seems to get a sack. Browns get a really key win against New England on the road. We've got the Atlanta Falcons traveling to Dallas. The Cowboys, oh my goodness, I don't know who saw the Cowboys after getting Dak Prescott back, completely getting blanked by Denver. They scored two ridiculously garbage touchdowns, and then I think they got two-point conversions. That's how they got 16. They very easily could have been shut out last week against Denver at home. This is a perfect game for them to get back on track. I am a believer in this Dallas Cowboys offense. Some people probably think this is going to be a little bit of slump for their offense. They're just too talented. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Zeke, Tony Pollard, and I do think Dak is a very good franchise quarterback, top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Atlanta coming off their win against New Orleans. Let's not overreact to it. It was a nice win, 27 points put up by Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's a good quarterback, and it's going to be very interesting. Does Matt Ryan leave Atlanta, or is there a trade that gets worked out with the Falcons? You know the Falcons are probably trying to get younger. They're rebuilding. The whole Calvin Ridley situation, we'll have to see if it gets resolved. But overall, we'll have to see if Matt Ryan can go to a contender next year because he still is a quality quarterback in the NFL. And if you surround him with weapons, he can put up some points and he can win you 9 to 10 games maybe in this day and age. But yeah, this game to me, Dallas gets back on track in this one. They just have too good of an offense, 34-17 overall. We've got New Orleans traveling to Tennessee. The Titans, that was another crazy upset last night without Derrick Henry beating the Rams handily. That game was not competitive at all in the second half. Trevor Siemian, we'll have to see if the Saints decide to play Taysom Hill at quarterback. I'm guessing they will. I don't know what's going on there. But I do have Tennessee getting the win 26-17. You know, for as good as Derrick Henry is, that is the most replaceable position in the NFL. And they didn't even replace it that well against the Rams. You know, Adrian Peterson came in, averaged only 2 yards a carry. But overall, you still look at this Tennessee team. You've got A.J. Brown. You've got Julio Jones. You've got an adequate quarterback in Ryan Tannehill who can win you games. I like them at home in this matchup against a New Orleans team coming off a loss, missing their quarterback. Could be even more lower scoring than this, but I like Tennessee to get the win 26-17 at home. We've got the Jacksonville Jaguars coming off their huge win taking on Indianapolis. Indianapolis putting up like 45 points against the Jets on Thursday Night Football. That offense is humming. I think they come back down to earth a little bit, but they still get the win 23-17 over Jacksonville. Give me Jacksonville to cover the spread here. Urban Meyer, what a signature win that was against the Bills. Josh Allen. You know, there's been a few games this year where Josh Allen has just not looked good. I mean, I saw Josh Allen's stat line like midway through this game. I believe he was 12 of 22 for 79 yards. There's just been games this year where he's been like, you're averaging like 3 yards per attempt. Patrick Mahomes is having issues with that as well. He averaged 4.5 yards per attempt against the Packers. Some of these quarterbacks are just not playing well. I'll take Indianapolis, lower scoring, close game throughout, but Indy gets the win. We've got those Buffalo Bills coming off that bad loss, taking on the New York Jets, traveling to East Rutherford. I think they get back on track. This offense is too good. Josh Allen is too good. 38-21, higher scoring. Will Mike White play for New York? We'll have to see the situation there. Doesn't it feel like the Bills have faced literally the 3 worst teams 3 weeks in a row, or like 4 weeks in a row? Like it was the same thing with the Rams for like 3 weeks where they just faced nobody good. But I think the Bills get back on track in this one and get the win. Another 1 o'clock game. We've got the Detroit Lions traveling to Pittsburgh. As I'm filming this video currently, the Steelers have yet to play this week. I think they'll beat Chicago on Monday night in a close, low-scoring game, and then they kind of get an easier matchup with Detroit. I think their defense really carries them 24-16. I don't think Detroit is going to lose out. They'll probably get 2 wins. They have the talent to do it. Jared Goff's not this terrible quarterback. I would be, again, surprised if they went 0-17. They're not that bad. But this is a game where the Steelers just have too good of a defense. It takes over. And maybe, Detroit gets some late garbage time points. I could see, Detroit struggling to score late into the third quarter in this one. Give me Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh needs these wins, too. They need to win tonight, Monday Night Football against Chicago. They need to win next week. You've got everyone in the AFC North bunched together. It's so tight right now. These teams, when you face a team like Detroit, you gotta win. It's a must-win game for Pittsburgh. They get it done, and they're at home, so absolutely a must-win. We've got the Buccaneers coming off their bye week after the loss to New Orleans. They are taking on Washington. That game in Landover, and I do have the Bucs bouncing back after their loss to New Orleans, 27-14 over Washington. Taylor Heinicke is not a starting quarterback. Some of these franchises, I have no clue. I guess they just thought he was going to be a stopgap, but it's like, you have to know Taylor Heinicke cannot be a franchise quarterback, cannot be your starting quarterback. That is really your plan going into the season for Taylor Heinicke to start all 17 games. That is just so bad as a franchise. It really is. Like, seriously. He played decent last year. He played okay. This is the rematch of the wild card game. This is the rematch of the wild card game that the Bucs won. Like, he played okay in that. But seriously, you really think are Washington fans all that surprised that the whole Taylor Heinicke thing isn't working out? Like, you could see this from a mile away. I hope they get a legitimate quarterback in Washington, especially for Terry McLaurin's sake. He's a beast receiver. I love him. Loved him at Ohio State. Stud. But give me, the Bucs bounce back and get a win here. Too much on offense. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, Brady, Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette is underrated now. Leonard Fournette is seriously underrated. I've got the Bucs winning that one 27-14. Moving on to the 4 o'clock window, we have Carolina traveling to Arizona, and this is my score prediction. If Kyler Murray plays, I believe they just rested him. They didn't want to take any chances with them already being 7-1. They rested him against the 49ers. The 49ers laid such an egg against Colt McCoy. How do you lose that game? Not only did they lose, they got crushed. But Arizona at home in this one, I believe Murray will play, but they could. The fact that they're like 8-1, they could rest Murray and play it safe, but I think he's going to play 31-16. Sam Darnold, maybe the worst quarterback in the NFL. Oh my God. Seriously, somebody needs to research Sam Darnold's last 5 games he started. It's got to be like 2 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. I'm not kidding. Like, oh my God. And the narrative, I understand the whole narrative that he got thrown into a terrible situation. Yes, he did. But young quarterbacks, even when they get thrown into terrible situations, over time, they show improvements. Sam Darnold, to me, showed 0 improvements with the Jets, and everyone's like, oh, he just needs to get off of that terrible franchise. He goes to Carolina, has a few decent games to start the season, and everyone's like, oh, see, it's all the Jets' fault. No, he's just not a good quarterback. He is not a franchise quarterback. Get it through your heads, everyone. Deal with it. He's got DJ Moore. doing nothing with him. Doing nothing. He's been horrible. Nothing against Sam Darnold. He definitely has a career in this league as a good backup, a very good backup, kind of like Mitch Trubisky is right now. But no, he's not a starter. He is not a legitimate starter in the NFL if you want to have a winning football team. Arizona gets the win 31-16. That's a 4:05 game. Next, we have Minnesota. This is an interesting matchup. Minnesota traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. The Chargers getting that close win on the road in Philadelphia. Minnesota, that was a heartbreaking loss. You go to Baltimore, you're up 2 touchdowns, you end up losing in overtime. And I got Minnesota getting a close win. To me, guys, this game is going to be close. It's going to be a higher scoring game, 28-24. Minnesota, Kirk Cousins, they're so tough to predict. They got a close loss last week. I like them this week to get a close win. The Chargers are, both of these teams are so hard to predict. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get from them. You really don't. But the Chargers did win last week. I believe they're 5-3 now on the year. But yeah, give me Minnesota to get back on the track and get a win 28-24. That's a 4:05 game. Moving on, 4:25, we have Philadelphia traveling to Denver to take on the Broncos. The Broncos coming off that amazing shutdown performance in Dallas against the Cowboys. I have Philadelphia winning this close, lower scoring, 24-21. To me, this is the typical NFL. You've got Denver last week, play great against an unbelievable defense, get a crazy upset win. This week, come home and lose. This is just how the NFL works. It's how it is. The Eagles are due for a win coming off their close loss at home to the Chargers. They get a win in Denver. I'm very confident the Eagles win this game 24-21. The last 4 o'clock window game is Seattle traveling to Lambeau Field, and I am going to assume Aaron Rodgers is back and starting for this game, and I think he's going to make a statement. 35-20, of course, Seattle starting Geno Smith coming off their bye. This one, as long as Aaron Rodgers plays, probably not going to be competitive. If Aaron Rodgers, for some reason, is out again, the Packers definitely still have a chance to win. The Packers have a really good defense. I mean, they shut down Kansas City, but with Jordan Love, it's very tough, and we saw what happened. They lost 13-7, but they have a really good defense, and if Aaron Rodgers is back, this is a clear-cut, easy win. I think they cover the 9.5-point spread. They're around 9.5-point favorites right now due to Aaron Rodgers. I believe he's going to play. He's probably going to, I think he has to get cleared by Saturday or something, so he should be able to play, and they get that win. Facing Geno Smith, it is what it is. At the beginning of the season, you expect Aaron Rodgers versus Russell Wilson. The Sunday night game is the Chiefs traveling to Vegas to take on the Raiders. You never know what you're going to get from the Raiders each week. They ended up losing to the Giants last week. I correctly predicted that one. And in this game, I have the Chiefs winning 31-24. I don't know what to make of Patrick Mahomes right now. Clearly, he's struggling. The question is, when is he going to break out of this slump you can say he's in? Because originally, I think many of us anticipated he, maybe have 1 or 2 bad games. It's whatever. But no, this is legitimately, he is struggling. This Chiefs offense cannot generate any big plays at all with Tyreek Hill, with Travis Kelce. You've got Tyreek Hill averaging like 9 yards per catch. Patrick Mahomes averaging 4.5 yards per attempt. It's just so inefficient, unlike Mahomes, unlike this Chiefs offense, and it's like at some point they got to get it together. You would think maybe they don't get it together this year. I don't think they're going to go far in the playoffs, but I still think their offense is going to start clicking at some point. I've got them 31-24. Vegas is, to me, a typical 9-8, 8-9 type team, 500 type team. You don't know what you're going to get from them any week. They could lose to the worst team in the NFL at home, or they could beat the best team in the NFL on the road. That's just who Vegas is. They're a 500 team. And again, they have They have a decent quarterback. They have a decent offense. But I like the Chiefs on the road in that one. And then the Monday night game, the Rams trying to bounce back. Both of these teams need to bounce back. My goodness. Boy, the NFC West is really struggling here recently. The Rams traveling to San Francisco to take on the 49ers, and I've got the Rams bouncing back 27-24. Matt Stafford, maybe leading the MVP race. That Sunday night performance this past week, actually it was last night against Tennessee, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, really bad. That might have just thrown him out of the MVP discussion. He's going to need some really good performances down the stretch if he wants a chance at that. Over San Francisco, I mean, my goodness, I was huge onto San Francisco. I said take San Francisco plus 2.5 versus Arizona. I don't care if Kyler Murray plays. Turns out Kyler Murray was out, and the line shifted to San Francisco -4. And they just, it's not that they lost, they got crushed by Colt McCoy. I don't know. The NFL is crazy. I've got the LA Rams. I feel confident. I'm confident in Sean McVay. I'm confident in Matt Stafford. 1 week, it was an aberration. You bounce back. You get a big road win. San Francisco's still a decent team. They're not bad, but the Rams are definitely better, and I like them to win that game 27-24. That is my prediction for all the games here in week number 10, guys. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.